It's 4 o'clock, you're getting dinner together, you're trying to get everybody fed, and then you somehow get them into the bath, washed, dressed, ready for bed, and then you're trying to do all the bedtime things, the stories, the little games, everything to just try to get them to sleep. Finally, they go to sleep, and whether you'd like to admit it or not, you've been waiting for this moment all afternoon, and finally the house is quiet, but then you don't know what to do. Like, do I do self-care? Do I need to eat some more? Watch my show? Should I do something that I actually enjoy? Should I get ready for everything for the next day? Like, what do I do? So you just sit on your phone, you watch a few episodes of your show, and then the next morning you're running around like a headless chook because you didn't get ready the night before, and you feel like an idiot, and you're going around and you're like, I am just finding these mornings so crazy. I know what it's like to just collapse on the couch and just not do the prep for lunch, the day before and all this stuff. Like, honestly, it doesn't even make sense. Like, you've given all of your energy for the whole of these, like all the afternoon, all these hours with your kids, trying to get them to bed, do all the things. Of course, you're not just going to like keep going and going and going. Like, who even has the energy for that? It doesn't even make sense. But obviously it doesn't make it easy, because then the next morning you're just running around and you constantly feel like you're playing catch up, like you're trying to get your lunch ready, trying to get the bags packed, everything, and it just makes it feel so chaotic. But there is a couple of ways that you can actually do it without feeling like you're burning out. And I think this shit is so important, because as Mel Robbins said, you've got to win your mornings. Well, in this case, you've got to win your evenings, because I know as a mum or a parent, like, that shit is sacred. Like, that is finally your time, and you've got to use it so wisely. And I think that's where we feel that pressure of like, I've got to use this time perfectly, because otherwise I'm just wasting it. And I know what you're thinking, oh, my kids don't even go to bed till like 8 o'clock at night. Like, how am I ever meant to do that? How am I ever gonna have the time to go and like get ready the night before? And this video is actually exactly for you guys, because honestly, same. And my girls wake up so early in the morning as well, like they're early risers. I don't have time to wake up early in the morning before them either. And even the times that I have tried, it honestly feels like I'm Moira out of Schitt's Creek. If you've seen that little bit where the guy just pops up at the desk and she's like, where did you come from? That is honestly me with my kids. Like, they just sense, I don't know if they've got little like feelers in their ears or something. They just know that I'm awake, and they're just there. Like, it's just, if I get up early, they end up getting early as well, and it pushes it earlier and earlier and earlier. So it just has not worked for me. So for me, evenings are just so freaking important. A couple of years ago, I became a mum of two, and now I've got 3 little girls, but I really felt like when I became a mum of 2, it was like a whole new energy. It was a whole new level of trying to like sort everyone's stuff out and everything. And I feel like kids challenge us in all these different ways, but for me, I've never really been that good at like looking after myself kind of thing, and I really feel like that's something I've had to work on. And so when I had to like take care of the girls' bags and take care of their clothes and all these things, that was really such a big jump for me. And when my second child started daycare, I still remember just finding it so tough, because you have to think of their bottles, you have to think of the formula that you're packing, you have to get their socks together, you have to put spare clothes in their bags and everything. And I just found that so overwhelming, and I needed like lists and everything that I could like put on my fridge just so that I didn't forget about things. But what I started to notice was that my mornings were just so crazy. Like, even just finding 2 socks, even just finding their shoes and things. Oh my gosh, because the day before, if I'd been at home with them and we'd gone to the playground and we had their drink bottles and all these things in a different bag, it just meant that the next morning I was running around having to like change bags and put their drink bottles in their different bags. I was having to figure out where all their shoes were, and if they wanted to wear like a specific top. I remember my girls just wanted to wear the same thing over and over again sometimes. So I had to like pick my battles, and I was like, okay, whatever, you can just wear the same dress again. And I used to have these crazy mornings, and even things like just not even remembering that the bins had to go out. So some mornings I'd have to run out the front, put the bins out. And these are back in the days when my partner used to have to leave early. He'd have to leave at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. So it was totally up to me, and he would even have to go to bed early the night before. So those mornings were really my mornings to sort out. And that's where I found it so tricky. And I was like, oh man, this is just so hard. And it even happened to me again the other week, where we were having a bit of a crazy time. Like, I think a couple of us were sick, and I was just working extra shifts and stuff. And of course, you just get so tired at night keeping up with everything. And honestly, I didn't take my own advice. And the next morning it happened to me again, where I was like having to wash bottles, I was having to pack their bags, I was having to put spare clothes back in, I was having to do all these things and like sort everything out in the mornings. And then I turned into that crazy woman again, and I was like yelling at the girls, like, please just help me, help find your own shoes and put your own shoes on and stuff because we were running out of time. I was having to think about my own work uniform. I was having to think about my own stuff that I had to bring. But when I do take my own advice, I don't have crazy mornings like that. And I'm normal. I've got my head screwed on, everything's sorted, and I don't even have to worry. And the mornings just flow so much better. I'm not that crazy mum running around being like, where is everything? This is crazy. Used to just think like, oh, this is just what mum life is. It's just crazy. You've got to think about so many children. Like you've got to get them ready and then yourself ready. And yes, that is still the case, obviously. Like they haven't gone anywhere. But when I do these strategies that I'm about to go through in the video, it's totally different. Like it's just not a battle like that at all. And it's just, anyway, so let's get into it. And I just wanted to say, if you're a mom and you feel like you're on your own in this and you are struggling a bit, you're feeling burnt out, I have a free download that you can get in the description below, which just gives you a 7-day toolkit, because that's the kind of thing that I needed, that sort of daily support that I could actually implement in my day-to-day to help my life feel just more together, feel like I wasn't constantly drowning in mum life, like I was on my own and I didn't know what to do. So I've got all of that in the description below. But anyway, let's get into it. I just want to say, like, we need to make a commitment to ourselves that we are going to use this time wisely so that we don't become that crazy mum that, is so stressful and always stressed out. And I know what it's like. It's so easy to just collapse on the couch. And, I know you might think like, I just don't have the self-control to do anything else. But what it is when you make that commitment to yourself that no, I'm going to, own this life, I'm going to own this, then what we're doing is we're taking a stand for ourselves and we're saying, no, I'm not going to let myself be in that situation. I'm not going to let myself be in that situation where I do waste my time and then I do become the crazy mum the next morning and I'm stressed and I'm flustered and I'm a hot mess. Like we need to make a commitment to ourselves that like we are deserving of, these years being practical and flowy and a good energy. And it might take a little bit of discipline, or even just, for me, it's not even discipline. It's just a decision in those moments, which we'll get into. But it's like, you need to make that commitment to yourself that actually, I want to have nice mornings. Like I want to have my nice mornings. I don't want things to be crazy. I don't want to walk into work feeling like I'm sweaty and hot and I'm, not dealing well. So as I've said in the title of this video is you want to make the most of those hours 5 to 9 o'clock. And what I mean by that as a mom is, because you're probably thinking, well, 5 o'clock, you're in the middle of dinner service. Like you're literally in the middle of getting everybody fed, getting them into the bath, all the things. But what we've got to do is decide before they even go to sleep, before all of that. It actually comes earlier where we need to decide, okay, what we're going to do is get off our phones. That's the first thing that I do is I get off my phone. I put it on charge or whatever, unless I need it for the time or something, which is a whole other thing. Like I really keep my eye on the clock. So that's the next thing. But you need to decide, okay, from this time, I'm going to switch like on completely and I'm going to fully be like in this crescendo right now. Like I'm going to be fully in it. So I'm going to be completely present. I'm going to be watching what they eat, making sure they're eating. I'm going to be literally like their little butler, getting the things that they need, the right forks, all the stuff. I'm going to do all of that and give it my all. And then that means that you're not half on your phone, half scrolling, half just like, oh, this is so crap. Because now that you've made that commitment, soon in a couple of hours, you're going to have your time. You are going to have your time. And so, you're not going to have, dinner and all this stuff pushed back further and then bedtime. Because what used to happen to me was like, I'd be like, oh, we're just whatever. Like we'll just deal with it as it comes. But then my kids wouldn't go to sleep till like 7:30, 8 o'clock. And even me, like I said, sometimes I have to learn the hard way. Like I'm like, oh, whatever. But it's actually my partner as well. He's like, no. They need to go to bed. We need to aim for 7:30. Even right now it's summertime, it gets really, dark late. It's like, no, you still need to decide, no, this is going to be my evening. Like I own these evenings. And so for me, when I get off my phone, it makes it so much easier. I'm not like half on my phone, half being like, oh God, like this whole mum life thing. It's like, no. We're grabbing this by the cojones, okay? We are going to be off the phone, fully present. And then that way you can be like, right, what is the next thing? And this is what I was saying is I always keep my eye on the clock as well. And I'm like looking at the increments. I'm like, okay, I need to be filling the bath at 6 o'clock. They need to be in the bath by 6:15 or 6:30. Like that is when they need to be in there. And then we need to be, bathing, having final snacks, all of those things before sort of like that 7 o'clock mark. And then they've got to be upstairs in the bedroom bedroom with everything, like all the blinds shut, all the things, night lights on at 7 o'clock. And so that way for me, I'm like fully in it. I'm fully present. I'm not just like half on my phone, half doing whatever. Because I've made that commitment to myself. This is where the strategy comes in. And so there's either one of two ways that we can do this, right? The first way is that you can divide up your time. So say like you've got from 7 p.m., say they finally go to sleep and it's like 7:30 or 8 o'clock or something like that. So between 7 and 8 o'clock. So you've got a couple of hours till you need to go to sleep, right? So how you can think of it is, okay, I'm going to set timers, or even just think of it in little like blocks of like 10, 15 minutes and go, right, because I just want to rest for a bit now. Usually this is what I do, is I just let myself just sit on my phone or something for like 10, 15 minutes. So I just have that downtime where they're finally asleep, it's finally quiet, and then I can actually just sit on my phone for a little bit, like completely guilt-free. And this is the other great thing about this, is that then when you do it this way in these little increments, it's all completely guilt-free, because you know, it's like you trust yourself with your time now, and you trust that the next thing's coming. You do it in 10-minute increments and you're like, right, so I'm going to just scroll or sit on my phone for like 10, 15 minutes. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, oh yeah, but then that's when they get stuck in a scroll hole. Well, you got to make that commitment to yourself, right? So we're going to commit to ourselves and go, no, I'm going to set a timer or even like a limit on my phone or something. And I'm just going to keep my eye on the time and no, I'm owning this time. And so then we're going to set a timer. And when that timer goes off, then you're like, right, this is my next step. So then the next step that we can do is whatever you want it to be next. So you can fill these blocks of time however you want. So the next thing you could be is maybe you could do some self-care, or we might want to, like, you know, if you've been running around with the kids, I find it hard sometimes to have even like eaten dinner properly. Sometimes I want like a snack or something later. So then you can go into the kitchen and like make something to eat, something nice to eat. Or maybe even you just want to tidy a little bit, because I know that for me, it's such a mess and it's so crazy sometimes. Even when they have snacks like before bed or whatever, it's like you need to then go clean those up, clean up the little plates and things like that. But so that usually doesn't take me any longer than like 10 or 15 minutes. Like honestly, when I time it and watch the clock, I'm like, this actually doesn't take that long. And so you just need to think like, okay, I'm going to just spend 10, 15 minutes now. I'm going to just sweep up. I'm going to do the dishes or whatever. Not even do the dishes, but just stack it or unpack it. Or sometimes for me, it's too loud. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to leave it till the morning. So I just rinse everything off in the sink. Then everything just feels a little bit more normal. Like I'm not having to just collapse in a heap amongst the mess, you know, which is just so stressful as well. The next thing you can do with the time is whatever you want to do next. So that might be a bit of self-care, which again doesn't have to take time. You could literally just put on a face mask or do some gua sha or something like that. It can just take you 10, 15 minutes, and you can set a timer again, and then you can do the next thing. So maybe you do want to watch an episode, then you've got like half an hour left. You could even literally watch 2 episodes, depending what you're watching, because Summer at Home Pretty is like an hour. But, you know, it really depends. And, you know, this is what you can do every single night. So this is one way that we can do that and utilize our time in the evenings really, really well. Another strategy that I like to do, and sometimes I do a bit of a mix of both, is having different themes for my nights of the week. So for instance, every Friday night, I don't know why, it just works out well. Tom and I, we love to just watch an episode of something together and have a couple of glasses of wine and have some dessert and stuff on a Friday night. It's just something we do every single week now. And we've only been doing it for like just over a month, but it is honestly, it's been game changing, like honestly life changing, because before that, I feel like we were just so busy. We were on our phones scrolling, doing the things, and like not even really having much fun together. And everybody knows as a mum, like it is so hard, or as a parent, to even like get out on a date night. I think for Tom and I, the last time we went out on a date was when I was pregnant with Penelope. So it's like a year and a half ago. It was honestly a year and a half ago. Doesn't matter. It's besides the point anyway. It's even just, you know, we all know date nights don't come around that often. And so for me and Tom, having that one night every single week where we do have a glass of wine and we do just relax together, and like, it feels like special. It feels like something special that's just for us, just makes a world of difference. You know, Sunday nights tends to be a little bit more of like a get ready for the week kind of night for me. What we do is twice a week, we do the robo mop. And so we completely get everything off the floor. We sweep everything off. We put the toys away. Yeah, it is effort, and it takes me saying to myself, no, I'm committed to myself. Like even last night, it was the last thing I wanted to do. But then once I do it and then I get the Robo Mop on, I honestly feel human again. It feels like there's a light at the end of the tunnel and there is hope. Like we are going to get through these little kid, toddler, baby stages and it's all going to be okay. And so, yeah, I do that twice a week. So Sundays and usually in the middle of the week. So like Wednesdays. And then I guess other things you can do on other nights of the week is, you know, for me, sometimes I do my content creation stuff. So I sit down, I do something that feels like it's mine, some self-care, and it's a bit of like my theme. So like I usually do that on sort of like a Wednesday, Thursday night when it's like coming up to the end of the week. It's something that I enjoy. It's something that feels good coming into the weekend. And it feels like I've still got a bit of energy there. Like it's not quite the end of the week. It's sort of like the middle of the week where I can kind of give it that time sort of thing. And so it doesn't feel like I'm completely burning out. Even on days where I'm not working, I still feel like this makes the biggest difference because, you know, when you're not, you know, resetting at night and when you're kind of just doing whatever and you're just doing mum life as it comes and you're not actually like ahead of it, that's when you can feel like you're starting off on the wrong foot the next morning. Like you, even if you did get up early before your kids and like did some journaling or whatever, I honestly feel like it gets rid of that feeling where you're catching up. I used to constantly feel like I was always catching up. I was like, I am just trying to follow behind my kids. I'm trying to clean up after them. I'm trying to do what they want me to do. And I constantly felt like I was constantly like trying to keep up with mum life. But when I do these resets at night and I do things for myself and I have little themes for every night and everything, and I set timers and use my time intentionally, it doesn't feel like the next morning when I wake up, I'm now like catching up. We don't have to constantly feel like we're chasing our tail. Probably for me was one of the feelings I hated the most. I felt like I was always chasing my tail. I was never able to stay on top of everything. And I felt like I was just trying to like, I don't know. It just felt like so much effort all the time. I mean, our kids aren't going anywhere, right? Like they are there when we wake up. They're there when we go to bed. Like they're there all the time. They're our little housemates. Like even if they do go to daycare and whatever, or they go to grandma's and grandpa's or whatever, like they are still in our home living with us. And so this is something that we can get used to now because yeah, they're not going anywhere. And so we need to try to like make that commitment to ourselves that we are going to use this time intentionally. And just remember, if you're a mum and you're finding that you're quite burnt out and you just don't even know where to start, you don't know where to pick up from, or feel like you're completely swamped in mum life, I have that free download that you can get in the description below. Make sure that you get it because honestly, it's something that I needed when I was a younger mum, and I just was starting out. I just didn't know what strategies to use or what tools or anything to get me through my day, to get me through my week. So honestly, go and have a look for that in the description below. I really hope that this video has helped some mums out there, or even if you're not a mum, I hope that it's helped. So yeah, I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.